Hey, Decathlon Gamer, welcome back to PCM21. It's career mode. We're on episode 17. We're at the start of a new season, and so we've got some new riders to break in. We've also started off immediately with our biggest objective of the entire season. Now, we're still in Continental, so it doesn't actually matter. While we're in Continental level, the national championships are massive boosts to sponsor confidence. And because of the nature of the playthrough with riders from all over the world, we have all those riders that are from individual nations. Therefore, through winning a handful of those, even just 2 or 3, that boosts our sponsor confidence massively. So even if we're failing along the way, that'll bring us up. So it's not going to be a concern. But I still want to start the year right. Now, the thing about it, though, is we have 2 4-star objectives, as in our 2 biggest objectives of the year, both happening at the same time. Mallorca and here being the Vuelta San Juan International. So 2 biggest races according to our sponsor right at the start of the season. The stronger team is at the other race. This one climber only, nobody else. 2 mountaintop finish stages like this one. We're on stage 4, stage 6 the same, stage 5 time trial. So that's going to test the legs. Martin Guerrero is that leader. You can see he's a 73 mountain, 73 time trial, 72 resistance, which is way better than anything we had prior to this season in terms of capability in GC. Also, he comes in with a +1 today, which it's an objective, but he's not yet built any sort of fitness as it's late January, so it's just the start of the season. So he's right where he should be on race day condition. And we're seeing an attack from Gegenhardt, not somebody I'm going to respond to. The objective, top 5. The other race, top 5. So pretty challenging objective that we are facing. We're inside 10k now, and we're definitely not going to last long with the domestiques. Arnautovic, 55 mountain, 57 hill, 60 resistance. He is a sprinter, 69 in that department. He'll be good with some levels. Very, very young, 5'8 potential, but we'll see. Our support climbers, Galvez, 65 is his base. Debase, 66 for base. We're seriously like one guy. No breakaway anymore, but we're seeing an attack here by Bike Exchange and Ineos. But Jumbo Visma chasing it down. Martin Guerrero just trying to play smart, survive. We're aiming for top 5, not for a win or anything like that. He's totally overmatched as a 73. Pogacar's here. Pogacar's sitting on right now.
And he moves on to the attack. It could be decisive.
I think he might actually be that number 11 right behind us. He is. Bit of an acceleration here, but if Pogacar's not responding, I don't think I need to respond.
5 kilometers to the finish line.
In fact, maybe I just follow him. Okay, down to 5k. Arnautovic was dropped. Let's go ahead and set him to auto. Ravenko's about to get dropped. Galvez has made up some ground, but he's still struggling back here. Same with Debase. I don't think those guys are really going to be much help to us. 4.7, up the effort a little bit more. Let's just focus on Martin Guerrero. He's alone in a race like this. There's just not enough support out there, so we're going to have to fend for ourselves. Oh, no, silly game. Oh, I hate how it does that. Roll that mouse wheel up one more notch, and all of a sudden it just drops you 20 points. 2k to go. Martin Guerrero hanging on well so far, but he doesn't have a ton of energy, and we're seeing a big acceleration here. Now for the final 1.5k. It's very steep through this section. It's going to ease off right near the top. It does it again. I roll the mouse wheel just a little bit. I was going to try to adjust from a 91 to an 89, and then poof. Right. Now you can push 700 meters. 700 meters. Come on, get up there. Get in the mix. 300 meters. sprinted out for the finish line. That's going to be a second for Pogacar, but who's ahead of him? It's Roglic, Van Aert, Thomas, and Martin Guerrero in 5th place for the stage. Cepeda just behind in 6th. Really good result. Really good result. You really can't ask for much more with best climbers in the world taking the first 4 positions and being right there with them. Gegenhardt, who attacked way too early, ended up down in 15th. Bevan, Micah, Schultz went way too early. Stage 5 is the time trial. It's only 17 kilometers, so it's pretty short. It's a very even balance between your time trialing and prologue abilities. Now, in past years, you could just cruise at a 76 effort, and 9 times out of 10, well, okay, maybe not quite that much. 3 out of 5? At least 60% of the time, a 76 would be the perfect balance you needed to cover your distance to the finish line and your effort that you're able to commit. You can see here, 76, we've already got extra in the tank. Red bar is not even being affected right now, but they've redone the system this year. And I'll admit, I've had very little practice with it so far. Our first 2 seasons here in career mode have seen only a couple races that I've been involved in that had a time trial. We've bypassed so many. We've used that quick sim a lot. And the national championship ones, I've had 1 or 2 riders. And so very, very little experience in the discipline. Today, I get 6 riders to practice with. That's good. I've learned some things about it, but I'll be honest with you. I've still got plenty to learn when it comes to how to balance this. You can see our 76 effort, not even close. We're going 82 now, and it seems to be fairly balanced at the moment. We're not affecting the red bar. The red bar matters. Day 1 release, somebody was like, oh, no, red bar doesn't matter. Just go max. Don't worry about it. I've discovered the red bar definitely matters from the limited experience I have right now. You need to have some left in the tank. You've got to be able to push. If not, you do drop some speed. Right down the order, you can see just how bad he was after our slow start. That's 76, not working. Also, though, terrible time trials, so that is a factor. But Aribe, I bet you we can do better. We'll start low 80s, see how that goes. Started about an 82. We'll see how that affects him. Ravenko also just about ready to set off. So a more measured effort this time. Okay, now Ravenko. Looks like 82 is actually working really well with Aribe right now. I think we might have found the happy zone on how to maximize the effort. He's not dipping into the red bar at all. You push that little bit harder, and you're going deep. And yes, you get a little more speed, but you're going deep. This is the measured effort. We want the measured effort, the consistent effort. Consistent speed makes a massive difference on the overall time, as opposed to going slow and then one big push. Learned a long time ago that doesn't work great. Let's see, maybe an 83. Let's try to go 83 from a bit earlier on with Ravenko. I'll certainly try to edit it out as I go along, but I'm a bit phlegmy today. My throat a little scratchy. Not sick or anything, just a little phlegm. So hopefully I've caught those moments and been able to edit them out, but certainly could have missed some along the way. You can see with Aribe not quite going hard enough. There's that slight downhill here, and you really recover some energy. Arnautovic still looks to be just about last place, but I think Aribe is going to be a bit better off. He's only a 64. 1K to go. Let's see, the 88's definitely dipping into the red. Attack to the line. It's got that little bit left. Much better time. And not a good time trialist. Ravenko, though. 83. Not hard enough. We need to go harder. 86 just starts to hit red bar. Looks like 85 is about where you cross that threshold. I didn't push hard enough at the end, but he's still a little bit faster. So again, more measured makes a bigger difference. Debussy Galvez will be close together. I think we're going to try to push maybe an 85 from the start with one and maybe try 86 for the other, though I don't know if you can sustain 86. It looks like the red bar will be a thing, so 85 might be something you can maintain, or at least on the flat. And of course, how much of that is going to come down to the distance. Is a longer time trial, is a 40K time trial, can you push an 85? Don't know. So this is all experimentation at this point. And that's why I'm actually showing the whole time trial today, is we're experimenting live. Okay, Debussy, the 85 actually seems to be okay. He is going slightly deeper, but I think with the ever so slight uphill versus later the ever so slight downhill will cover that off. But this is all for knowledge, but also for Martin Guerrero, so we can get the most. Okay, we were going to try 86 for Galvez. You can see just that little dip of red bar. No dip of red bar. So yes, there's your breaking point. 85 to 86, or at least it is here. Looks like this left-hander, that's the high point right there. It's going to start going downhill. Actually, rather quickly starts going downhill. But yes, the 85, you can see just how measured, how close that is. I think he can probably push that 86 the rest. Maybe even harder, 87. Meanwhile, Galvez maybe going that little too deep. I think here the 85 is almost same speed, but then you're going to save that red bar push and that little bit for the end, where you can see now Debussy doing 88, go deeper, but Galvez won't be able to push to the finish line. I think the combination might work out in his favor. But if we go 85, will it stop dropping? Will it recover? We've got that descent coming. Oh, Debussy cross the line. Shoot. 29th, though. Best time yet. Okay, it's not declining. So at 85, it's holding but not recovering. Wonder if it recovers at 84. He's 4.5 minutes down. I'm not worried about his overall. It does. It's going up ever so slightly. 85 is your neutral point on measured effort. 86, you're dipping into the red bar. 84, you begin to recover ever so slightly. Or at least so it looks like. Okay, max effort. Cross the line. Boom. 21st. Best time, but also best time trialist we've had so far. Debussy did not put in the same time as Galvez, but Galvez is a much better time trialist than Debussy, and there wasn't a significant gap between the two. So I think the 85 effort where you maintain that red bar and being able to push at the finish is going to be useful. It's going to be helpful. Probably the best way to go. Galvez pushing ever so slightly harder at 86, but using up that red bar slowly but surely didn't give him the ability to push in the final kilometer. Gegenhardt goes to the top of the time charts. 19:23 is the time to beat Martin Guerrero. +1 again today, which is exactly what's expected of him. That's a 75-74, so 74.5 on the time trial. No climbing to speak of. Stamina's at 71, resistance at 75. This isn't going to be fantastic. Could it be in the top 10? Maybe. Definitely top 20. I mean, he should be within 1 minute, but the guys we are around against Continental, he'll be great. We can win some races with him, I think. You can see he's 24 seconds down, now 32 seconds down. He's moved up a couple of spots. We sit 4th overall at this point, by the way. And now, with the downhill, I think this is where we can start to push to the end. We'll go 89 effort. Attack these last couple kilometers. Not just the end full speed, but for a couple K. Final K. 92, 99. Okay, 11th, 36 seconds down. Except for Van Aert just bettered the time by 25 seconds coming in right behind us. Other than that, I did say within a minute. I didn't say of the eventual winner. I was making comparisons to Gegenhardt's time on that. Pogacar, yeah, no surprise those guys go right to the top. However, while it is outside of the top 10 on the stage, and I was saying top 20, and I was saying within a minute, that's where we are, at least compared to Gegenhardt's time, which was the comparison that I was drawing. So it was good, and it was measured, and I think just like that, just one little experience, and I've sorted out time trialing. Now, a whole nother matter is time trialing with climbing and how that's going to impact and affect things and how to do the effort or different lengths. But for a standard length time trial, there you go. 85 keeps that red bar in check. 86 plus, it starts to draw back. Under 85, you can recover red bar. So you could make a measured effort, attack, a push where you need to, short little punchy climb maybe, and then go a little bit lower, recover that red bar for another attack later on. Yeah, I like the new system. I like the realism that it's bringing in, because the other was so simple, so generic. You just run a singular pace throughout, and that's that. Minute 3, so even with Van Aert's improved time by near half minute, we were still right about a minute anyway. So yeah, pretty solid result. 13th, minute 3 down. But what does it do for the GC? I would guess it's going to drop us slightly. It doesn't, actually. We keep 4th place. So Pogacar, Van Aert leading, but Cepeda just 9 seconds ahead. Thomas, we moved ahead of. Actually, we were behind him. It's Van Aert who moved up, I believe. Well, no. No, both of those guys were ahead of us, and Cepeda was ahead of us. So maybe we were 5th. I thought we were 4th. We were. Those were the 3 guys behind us. So we were ahead of Thomas. Thomas must have had roughly the same time. He did. There you go. 3 seconds. 3-second difference. Okay. Thomas was just ahead of us on the last stage. We were same time. So he was just a few seconds back on the punchy stage that I quick simmed before that. There's your explanation. But we are in a big heap of trouble with one more mountaintops finish in the next stage, because Thomas, Roglic, Foss, Gegenhardt breathing down our necks. Yeah. Stage 5, the decisive stage. 6, that is, because it's the last climbing stage. Stage 7, it's just a sprint stage. It's not going to impact anything. And as we hit the base, we're going to do something today that I didn't do on stage 4 that I think I should have. Traditionally, my approach is you take the weakest riders and protect the strongest climbers. Then, as those weaker domestiques fall away, then you use now the stronger climbers to protect the strongest climbers or climber, one by one, until you get down to your final man. It's a tactic that works very well. Not under these circumstances. Arnautovic is a terrible climber. The other guys that are my better climbers, Galvez, Debussy, 65, 66, that's just not good enough. And the protection part works, but they drift back. And so by time whoever's protecting Martin Guerrero is gone, the guys that now should be taken over are too far down. And if I were to then assign them, they're not going to make it back up to him to protect. So Martin Guerrero is totally on his own, isolated last time. So we're going to do it differently this time. We're going to go ahead and set auto for a few of these guys. Ravenko, Ribe, just stick them to auto. Now, I'm going to take Galvez, and let's move forward just an instant. Galvez, and use him right away, my second one. And Debussy, We're going to put him on Martin Guerrero's wheel. So I'm going to take just my best climbers this time around
The riders are
and
entering the last 15
use
kilometers
them
of the stage.
and force them to stay up front. Martin Guerrero, going backwards is not the way you're supposed to start the climb. Arnautovic is way ahead of you. He's still going backwards. He's stuck behind this one rider. He's just now blinking red, so it's not like they were pushing that hard. He just got caught behind a couple of slower riders and seemed to have lost some ground. That's not a good way to start this climb. Well, anyway, we have gels
Whoa, there's an attack from inside the
for those
breakaway
guys. Galvez, we're looking at 12K to go to the finish.
group. The riders are now onto the
We're already
first
coming
gradient
back
of this
towards
race.
the breakaway. Galvez is already fading. That's how weak he is as a climber, so Debussy is going to have to be prepared to take over fairly soon. But this time there's actually some protection. Better than it was before. But 10K to go. It's a lot of distance still to cover as the group thins out. 44 left in the peloton. One breakaway rider still challenging at the front, but the other 5 are being reeled back in right now. On lower difficulty levels with one rider up the road and somebody like Martin Guerrero, who's not considered a threat, you would want to attack and go off and win solo. Does not work on the hardest difficulty level. Debussy is now dropped.
He could go all the way. Oh, the list of those left behind
And
goes
we're
on
seeing
rising.
We're seeing others do that. I thought I set these guys to auto, but they're now holding at 82. I know I set them to auto. That's the other leaders. I'm not worried about them and protecting. It's worried about everybody else. It's worried about everyone behind me. We're trying to keep a top 5, not get onto the podium. But you can see there's this big acceleration, 6.6K to go, and we are caught a little bit behind as the group spreads out, going single file. And here's the vulnerability now of Martin Guerrero.
None of the favorites is giving an inch.
But at 87, he's pushing about all he can
The
push.
finish line is getting close. The riders just passed the 5 kilometers road sign.
Solano up the road. There's still all sorts of guys ahead of us. But we are running out of energy. Ouch, with 4K to go.
And up
Gegenhardt's
he
going
goes.
clear.
He's
Van Aert's
getting
going
a
with him.
left go.
And we're going to miss that. I think we're now looking at a top 10. 3K, no energy left. Already 215 down on the front. If those guys get pulled back, well, they're not the ones that are going to matter. Let's look up the road. What do we have? Rubio, not a threat. Roglic is. He's going to steal a position from us. Those guys heading to the finish. You got 2 threats up the road.
The riders are going through a very tough portion with
Gegenhardt as
percentages
well.
above 10%.
So 3 threats. And we have nothing
They
left to
really had
attack
to fight
with.
for that one.
Spada.
A great
Oof.
sprint finish. The tail enders are still coming in.
All right, just climb your pace, buddy. Whoever's attacking there for 8th is Schultz. I don't know how much he's going to threaten our position. There's a gap. That's a gap. That's 10 seconds. That's going to cost us 1 or 2 more spots. Thomas was right there in the 4 guys with my 4 guys right behind. Maybe 7-8 seconds behind by the time they cross the line. Top 10 though. Not a top 5, but it'll be a top 10. 9-second gap. Just as I predicted. Only 1 second off from what I figured it would be. And that drops us to 8th place. 6 seconds behind Thomas. Again, that was key on that one. Otherwise, it would have been 7th. Really no difference between the one position. Pogacar wins overall. Cepeda 2nd. Van Aert keeps a podium place. Mühlberger moves up to 4th. Roglic 5th. Gegenhardt, Thomas, and then there we are. So great job as a young rider. I mean, considering Pogacar and Cepeda dominating the classification for the under 25s, but otherwise 3rd place. 2 biggest sponsor objectives of the year now behind us. The 3rd biggest has just started. So 3 4-star sponsor objectives in the year, and they overlap with one another, all 3 of them. Really, really difficult on that front. Total failure for the Mallorca race. We finished 21st with Kevin Rivera, but I quick simmed through that entire race. There was only one climbing stage, and nobody fared particularly well that day. We also need a top 5 for the Saudi Tour, so we'll open up our next episode with that. But the Vuelta San Juan International, partial failure. We got a top 10 where they wanted a top 5. Really, really difficult task considering the competition level. The riders around us were just way, way, way too good. So it does hurt the sponsor confidence to start the year, but ultimately not going to be a major concern because we have national championships to make up for it. But I still don't want to see that. One thing to see is that right now we sit on 103,000 budget. Of course, we're nowhere near that. We have 40,000 still left to play with. And then it's going to go up if we get those national championships. We get that 100% evaluation. It's going to go up by another 13,500. So we'll have a little over 50,000 to play with. We only have a single expiring contract this season, the last of our original riders, as I've signed everybody to 3-year deals these first 2 years. So one more to ditch and leave behind, but that's only 2,500 coming off the books. Not a ton of money. 50,000 is still a good amount. We'll be able to sign a good number of riders this season. The biggest thing, though, the most notable thing of this season is just how much better we are at the top end. In August last year, at the signing period, we had a single rider that was a 73. We had a 72, we had a 71. Through signings, we pushed that out to 73 and multiple 72s. Start of February, that's a fair decent amount of months already gone by. By now, suddenly, we have 5 riders at a 73 overall already. We have 3 72s, we have 3 71s. It's crazy. Sorry, it's getting really loud in here. I'm getting some trees cut down today. Let me go ahead and just do my outro, and I'll talk to you later. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. See you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.